Back to another episode of Bastards YouTube. Terry and Nick here. This is our second attempt at it due to a technical glitch. We did give a half a second moment of silence for Ryan Brazier.
He's the reason why the stream went out. Just want to make sure that's crystal clear. He's got nothing better to do now.
The stream came out of the bullpen and immediately got lit up and
sure
shut
did.
down. Yeah, so that's exactly what happened. Perfect analogy. And again, got DFA'd, about 2 years too late. It could have happened
Absolutely
a lot sooner. Red Sox would have been a better team, but all right. So let's go ahead and get back into it. Game one getting underway momentarily in about 2 minutes, actually. George Kirby versus Tanner Houck. How do you have that one going?
Very impressed with looking up research on George Kirby with what his numbers look like. Sometimes it's tough with these West Coast games to really follow and kind of understand why certain players are so good or bad or average or indifferent. But his numbers so far in this season, he's 4-2 with a 2.62 ERA and 7 starts. He's gone 2 straight back-to-back wins, one of which came against the Oakland A's. Gave up 3 earned runs in that outing, and then he just came off of a gem against the Texas Rangers where he went 7 innings, no runs given up. Houck just threw against the Phillies, a decent start, went 5 2/3, gave up 3 runs in a losing effort. I see the Mariners getting the win in this first game here. I think Houck keeps it a competitive game, but I do think that the pitching here from Kirby is going to silence the bats for the Red Sox tonight.
I'm not going to disagree with you on game one. The thing that does concern me about the Mariners is they are not a good offensive team. They are a bottom 5 team in a lot of categories, so they will have to come up with some offense, but their pitching is just so good. Red Sox last series, pretty quiet. Alex Verdugo, this is against the Cardinals, 2 for 11. Masa Yoshida was 3 for 10, but he was coming off of a much worse series even before that. Kike Hernandez, extremely cold. So neither offense is particularly hot at the moment, so I'll side with the nice run that George Kirby is on in Mariners game one. Second game, Tuesday night, 7:10 start, Luis Castillo versus Nicholas Pivetta. I think I know how you're going with that one.
Yeah, there's no love in Nick in this one. Absolutely not. After that shelling that he had his last outing against the Braves, 4 innings pitched, 8 runs given up. Even with a cold, silent kind of lineup that the Mariners are, I believe they're number 27th ranked in all of baseball right now. I can't have the confidence right now to trust Nick Pivetta right now, especially going up against Luis Castillo, who's actually had a pretty decent beginning for his season. He's Mr. No Decision right now. He's really not having much luck in the win department, but he's 2-1 with a 2.70 ERA. Last start out, he actually was a tough loser in this one, went 5 innings, gave up 3 runs against the Rangers. I am going with the Seattle Mariners again for Tuesday evening.
Rangers, surprisingly, the first place team in the AL West. Most people thought it would be the Astros and the Mariners. I still think the Astros get there, but
I do too.
But the Rangers, pretty tough. As for the start, I think even like the 27th ranked offense, whatever they are, the Mariners, I don't think they're going to have too much trouble with Nick Pivetta. Pivetta has the weight of the world on his shoulders. Most people seem to want him to be one of the odd men out to go to the bullpen. And when Nick Pivetta is in his own head, it doesn't go well. He's prone to going on these bad runs. And I think the Mariners will take game 2. So finally, game 3, that is on Wednesday. Also a 7:10 p.m. Eastern start. Marco Gonzales versus Brayan Bello. How do you have that one?
I'm going to ride high with Brayan Bello. He's been the bright spot in this rotation the last few times out. I feel like he's hit a groove, Terry. I feel like he's at a point right now where he's learning how to become a major league pitcher. Last start out, best start in my opinion that he's had this season so far. 6 innings, three earned runs against the 2 earned runs, against the Braves. Against Marco Gonzales, he's 3-0 with a high 4 ERA. Last outing out for him, he threw against the Tigers, went 6 innings, and he gave up 2 runs. I see Bello getting the win in this game on Wednesday. I see the Red Sox getting back in the win column, and all will be right on Wednesday before that big trip out west. Will take on the Don Orsillo, Xander Bogaerts, San Diego Padres.
That's going to be a fun series. Again, I can't disagree with you. I think Bello is pitching very well. Well, he's trending the right way, certainly. And I think this Mariners lineup is kind of tailor-made for him. It shouldn't be a lineup that he struggles with. And Marco Gonzales is, for lack of a better term, the Nick Pivetta of the Seattle Mariners. Just been a back end of the rotation guy, serviceable, eats innings. That type of a guy in Seattle for the last several years now. So this could be a game where the Red Sox kind of go to town offensively. But so officially, I'm taking the Red Sox in game 3, albeit a 2-1 series loss. But take it all with a grain of salt, because I had the Red Sox winning 2 out of 3 against.
We did the same picks last time out. It's again the same thing for us here. But again, back on that series with the Cardinals, I mean, who would have thought that we'd have 2 blown saves out of this whole thing with Kenley Jensen?
That's
true.
Those
should have been wins. So
that's true. Yeah, and Matt's, to his credit, pitched better than I thought he would. And game 3, I think I picked the Red Sox, but Miles Michaelis, I thought could be a guy that could beat us, that could, keep things under control. And he certainly did. He didn't record a strikeout, but got a lot of soft contact and kept it all in the park. So, so we'll see. It's kind of a big series. I mean, the Red Sox haven't been playing super well. They lost the final game of the Phillies series. Then they split with Atlanta. So that was losing 2 out of 3. And then they just got swept to the Cardinals. So that's what they've lost 5 out of the last 6. So they need to heat up and get back on track. And this Mariners team, like I said, if you get guys like Verdugo, Yoshida, Kike, all heating back up, and maybe Devers kind of goes off a little bit, that's the exact recipe to get back on the winning track. So we'll see if they do it, and we'll be back on, Sunday night to see what's going to happen with
the Padres series. We got to come in for Thursday to do the Padres preview.
Right team, wrong night. So Thursday night, we'll cover that. And
before we wrap, Terry, just 3 names to mention for the Mariners, just to keep tabs on, just to make sure you, kind of like we did with the Cardinals with Goldschmidt and Arenado. Those guys beat us pretty handedly. Jared Kelenic, their left fielder, off to a really good season so far with a 286 average, 8 home runs. Julio Rodriguez has been ice cold, so he's got a low average, but he's hits for power. So there's a name to also make sure that you're aware of. And then their closer, Paul Seward, with 9 saves, pretty decent. And those are my 3 to just keep your eyes on at least a little bit in this series.
Kelenic, was a complete bust last year. It might have even been the number 1 prospect in all of baseball, and seems to have finally figured it out in his sophomore season. So
he's clicking.
Be interesting to see what he does with the Red Sox. So, all right, we'll wrap on that. Everybody have a good start to your week.